So now on to how we might be able to assist you. I've got a few more minutes to talk to you on this. We've developed a tool to help you to meet your obligations under the new legislation. Now, this is not something that's mandatory. It's something that we have developed in response to the new legislation, because from our perspective, I know that people are going to come to me and they're going to say, Basil, can you write me a building safety case? Well, there's a whole lot of information that I'm going to need from you to be able to write that building safety case. There's a whole lot of information about your building that you hold and I do not hold. And I was thinking to myself for the last few months, well, how on earth a client's going to meet their obligations under the law? They've got to first of all understand their responsibilities, but then they've got to bring all the information together and then share it in a way that is usable, useful to the building safety regulator. Now, I don't think that's an easy thing to do. So one of the things that I've done is develop this portal to give you that help. And it will act as a repository for your golden thread information. It'll hold all the evidence that you hold in one place. And if the building safety regulator wants to interrogate anything, he or she can come to the portal and you can give them access to your account and they can nosy around as much as they want to and see when you've done things, how things have progressed over time, etc. Because it'll be one version of the truth. But it will also act as a live management system for you. It'll give you up-to-date information about how your building's performing, because we will do a risk assessment, a regular risk assessment on your building. And that risk assessment will change over time. So one would hope that as you improve things in your building over time, that risk score also improves. And we want to share that with the building safety regulator to show them that that you're doing your job in a way that is appropriate. Now, what I'm going to do at this point is go on to the site itself so that you can see. Can everybody still see? I'm hoping everybody can still see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm hoping I'm not here by myself as well. That's another thing. Okay. So this is the screen that you will see when you're logging in. I mean, you won't have access to this straight away, but what will happen is as soon as you have got you're signed up, you will be given account details, your log-on details, and you'll be able to log in as appropriate. Okay, so you'll be given those details, and what you should see when you enter is this. Quite why it's taking so long. Okay, you'll see a screen like this, and on the left-hand side is the menu. Okay, so all of the menus of every function that you need, always in this left-hand side, this blue panel. Your display screen is the rest of the screen. You'll see at the top here, it tells you who you are. In this case, it's Basil Jackson, the building manager. Okay, and you can select which building you want to interrogate. So if you've got more than one building, you can. But if you can interrogate that building. But this here, you start off with a dashboard that just gives you some alerts to what might be going on with your building. So there's some messages that might have come from the building manager, special alerts that says, hang on a second, your fire risk assessment is due in 3 weeks' time. You need to organize it. Things like that will come up on this page. Now, if you see here on the left-hand side, the first bit is about the BSR portal. I'm not going to click into that because that's just the video that you guys have already seen, or at least should have already seen, that tells you a bit about what we do and what the legislative changes are. But if you click on buildings, you'll see you're given the opportunity to create a new building, your own building, and you'll put all the details of that building into the system. Or you can click on to list, and all of the buildings that you have prepared before will come up on your list. Whichever building you want to interrogate, you click into, okay? And you should get a summary of the building, its address, details of the type of building, the height of the building, number of stories, etc. So, by the way, I haven't filled in some of this. There's a photograph of the building, but notice at the bottom you have a score as well. So the buildings are scored with a risk score. Okay, I haven't got time to go into lots of that at the moment, but just be aware that that is the case. Okay, some of the risks are identified here. So it gives you an overall indicator of how the building is risk assessed, so you can understand how safe or not occupants might feel in your building. Now, if you notice on the left-hand side of your menu, you'll see that some of this is in this nice navy blue, while others are in this grey. The navy blue is what you are able to edit. You're able to put things in the areas that are blue, and you're able to access those without a problem. The grey bits, however, although you are able to access them and see what's inside them, you're not able to edit them. The reason is because that's the risk analysis that's done by the risk assessor. Okay, so that's an independent piece of work done based on the information that you put into this portal. I'm hoping you've understood that, and I'm gonna leave it at that. But if you've got any questions, I'll deal with that later. So we start off with the information gathering. So we start off with golden thread documents, and you can see there's a whole list of golden thread documents, and there's 3 pages of this stuff where you will upload your information. I'm going to go into one now. The fire risk assessment. You know what a fire risk assessment is. You'll be required to put in a hyperlink. Now, just be clear here. You're not uploading the actual documents. We're not keeping the actual documents here. We want your link to where you store it. And this is important because in the building safety case report that we write for you, we are going to give that hyperlink in the report. And so if the building safety regulator wants to see it, if they want to see the fire risk assessment, they'll be able to click the hyperlink and go straight to the document. That's the idea here. Okay, so the idea is to try and make this as accessible to the building safety regulator as we possibly can be. So you will upload as many hyperlinks as you want. I mean, I don't know if you can see here, you can add a new hyperlink. So you can have 3, 4, 5 of these hyperlinks if you want to give access to more information on any particular item. So that's not a problem, okay? And once you've done that, you can upload here with the blue button, and you can view all the files that have been uploaded on that screen there. Now, let's say you're going through all of this. You've got your fire strategy. You've produced your hyperlink for that. You've got your fire risk assessment. You produce your hyperlink for that, and so on for a whole load of this. But then you come to this structural engineers report, and you go, oh, crumbs. I haven't got a structural engineers report. What do I do? Well, if you, for now, just hit this nil return button. And the idea here is, I don't think this is about us trying to say to the building safety regulator, everything's fine here, nothing to see here. I think this is about saying to them, look, we understand our buildings and we understand what's missing. And we have a plan to put in place whatever is missing by, and we'll give the date, okay? So I think it's that sort of confidence that the building safety regulator is looking for.